Afternoon, guys. Let's get going. Time today. Look at that. Straight back to the 50 moving average. 50 moving average happens to be exactly where the first target is at 9 hours. Well, we'll look at that in a sec. We moved into the area of consolidation. Good chance to see the 50 on the other side. I'm just moving my support and resistance level. So I'm putting support at the 50 now. Next level. Resistance at the 61. We also know how often we go to the other side of these consolidations. That's not necessarily the same day. Okay, looking for the stochastic. Now, this is interesting on this one, 50 moving average. Are we going to break the 50 moving average? If we are, the stochastic is not following down through the 50. Now, I already joined that break and that follow through when they talk to each other. So when the stochastic talks to that candle and it goes. Now, we've still got time tonight. But when we just find an example here, and really have one right here. There we broke 50 moving average there. Can you see the stochastic? No, followed that down through the 50 there. So often it's a bounce, but we'll just follow our systems in a shorter time frame. So trend right now is still up, 8 above 21. We're above the 50 moving average on it right now. Stochastic indicates the trend is up. We're above the signal line and we're above the 50 level. Simon, to you.
All right. Oh, sure. Fantastic. Okay, so having broken that 50 moving average, what we're looking at the moment is the 61.8 for our targets, having broken down to that 100. That was our trigger about yesterday evening, but broke down through that 100 over there. So now we find a little bit of support of that 77. If we can break that, we'll see the 61.8. And what I'm also looking at is our stochastic. Right now, we're just above that 38.2. Break below that level with our signal line being above the 50. That in itself is a trigger short, giving us sort of confirmation to reach the 61.8. Below that, if we go back into our consolidation area, we can look at reaching the other side, 38.2. And below that, the next target will be 11. But for now, let's just worry about breaking that 77 to reach this target of 61.8.
That's an interesting one. I'm just, as you're talking there, glancing at the stochastic here. Within signal line break of 50, as we break that 50 moving average, let's see if we're going to get follow through down to the 38.2 here. So as we move into 1 minute this afternoon, break of that 77, next target is 61.8. Already I'm starting to favor the shorts on the 1 minute. 9 hour, we did trigger short in direction trend 3 hours ago. That is the first target. We'll watch that. We know the level of support is on the 50 moving average in the day. We also know it's on the 77 weekly high low. First target, 9 hour. If this, we start breaking these levels, I definitely on the 1 hour start chasing the 11 there. And same story, it's the same stochastic that follow through down through 38.2. We can see if that's going to break, or we're going to see if that's going to hold. On the ABCs quickly, just want to get into the story. So ABC possible finished with that double top type story, had their little bullish bull trap there. I just want to get into this. Yeah. So this morning we suggested a little ABC. That has become a little bit clearer now. So let's look at it. Perfect 50% retracement of that move. That implies zigzag. In other words, the distance from 0 to A and B to C will be the same. Get our targets here. Just broken first target, ABC down. At first target, expect consolidation, even retracement. 11 will be the second target. Okay, let me just find my labels. So it's third degree. That implies a little green ABC down in 24 hours to give us a red A. I'll put that in now. So I'm just changing this to green. And then the red A will be second degree. Slightly bigger time frame. Just posting those targets for you. Looking at the zone moving averages there, green, red, blue, orange, black, 155. We're below all of them, which means we're moving into zone one on the downside. It implies best place to be according to the strategy is short.
Yeah, here on our daily high low, we have broken down through that zero, giving us a trigger short there on our daily high low down to the 127. That is our first target. And you can see we were right on that 77 of our weekly high low as well, how those levels are talking to each other. So break that 77, we're looking at that 61 as was mentioned on our weekly high low. That'll take us to our first target on our daily high low as we've been pushing down to that 61.8, 161.8 for our final target there. Right now, 8 is below 21, 21 below 50. Everything on the moving averages is indicating that trend is still down. Only concern here is the stochastic. You know, we are in completely oversold territory. Being below the 11 signal line is also catching up quite quickly. So we just need to watch out for that support coming into the market at the moment. But, you know, with the trend still being down and having targets to the downside, there's a good chance we can still reach those levels.
I still want to chase at 127, but as you look at the stochastic, they're not confirmed yet. Far from it. No, I was about to suggest divergence, and it's just failed as I've been talking. Opening range we're going to get to. This is my Dow ABC story. So ABC, I'm going to just trail the 5-minute grid, and that'll only be confirmed once we get moving average crossover for the upside. But according to the ABC, it's a little bit more downside first.
All right, Aussie monthly high low. The last 3 days, we found very strong support at that 100, and we have finally been able to break down through that 100 level today. So with break of that 100, we can now start looking at that 61.8 as a target, as it has been labeled here. Our 8 moving average has started to cross, well, not hasn't crossed over, but it has started to curve. So as we're pushing down, we're watching that 821 for a crossover for confirmation. And we're looking at this 50 moving average as well as a possible target. You know, we have to retrace back to that level at some point. And if we do hit the 61.8 on our monthly high low, break that 61 into our consolidation zone, we often go back all the way to the other side to the 38.2, and that's right by our 50 moving averages. So the levels are talking quite nicely to each other. We haven't had confirmation yet on our moving averages, just waiting for that. But what I am looking at as well is the stochastic. It has broken its own signal line here by the 89. We've also broken the 80 level on our stochastic, which is a good indication that we could be going back down to our 50 moving average. So that is sort of the target I'm looking at as a sort of a second target, with first target being here at 61.8 of our monthly high low.
Yeah, I look at this statistically, and I'm referring particularly, Sammy, to the 50 moving average in this time frame, where it pushes away and comes back, pushes away, come back. On average, if you go look at this historically, once a month, once every month, or once every 5 or 6 weeks, something like that. We've been above this for 2 months now. If I was a gambling man, which I'm not, I would be aiming for the 50 moving average.
Yeah, 100%.
This has been very messy this week, this weekly high low. So unfortunately, due to the range last week, every time we kind of get a trigger, the risk to reward is gone. However, we have broken the 23 now. There's no doubts in our minds that the next target is the 11. That's target and the next level of support there. I ignored the daily high low today completely because of that spike we had yesterday. So
yeah.
Tian spent his time focusing on opening ranges rather here this morning than that. So, Sammy, you move on to the US tech end of day monthly high low.
All right. Here we are. We have our US tech NASDAQ monthly high low valid for this month. We've just broken down through the zero today. We did a couple 2-3 days ago. We first did, but found very strong support. So what I'm seeing is we have not only broken down through that zero level, but we've also broken down past that support. If we can just hold that level as we get close to opening, good chance we can get a massive push as we open. Right now, what my target is this 127. Fair decent away on the nasdaq. And I'm also looking at our stochastic at the moment. It is pointing down. It is below its own signal line, indicating the trend is still down. And we have also had a 21 moving average crossover. So nothing massive I really see in our way. That 127 level is also our previous level of support coming from earlier this month. So that's where I'm looking at right now. Below that level, I'll look at the 161.8. But for right now, let's not jump the gun. Let's just focus on this 127 target.
Absolutely, trend is down.
Yeah.
There's an hourly story there that gave us a trigger short last night. Again, risk to reward was out by the time we bought it. We're still going to use these levels as levels of support and resistance for 1 minute trading and 5 minute support. Just shy of that 11 target on the weekly high low, but huge runs. I mean, I'm repeating it. Day before yesterday, 620 plus minus points up, and then yesterday 660 down, and we continue that downtrend. Moving averages trend is down, stochastic trend is down as long as the stochastic remains below 11. Preferable to chase the shorts. This is what I want to look at. So we've got this ABC. Not happy at same with the other ones. Let me tell you why. This blue ABC cycle. So I might need to make a few adjustments here. The cycle is 3 weeks. We've only barely done 2 on the cycle. So I don't believe it's over. Now what I want to do is that double top. And just change that to blue. And the next critical level of support on this one is 89. So 89 is quite a strong level where I'm going to leave that like that. So I can watch it as we go through the afternoon. If we do chase down, I'm watching that 89. That can still be a bigger B before C up.
All right, looking at our daily high low here on the nasdaq. Similar to the Dow, we have broken down through that 0 level, giving us a trigger short on our way to first target negative 127. Finding a bit of support there on our weekly high low level there. If I'm not mistaken, that's our 0, isn't it? On our weekly high low. So a very strong level of support there as well. That we sort of struggling with. If we can break down past that, we can definitely hit this target 127. That is our target currently to the downside. Sorry, my mistake. That's not the 0. That's the 11. And the 11 is notoriously very strong in terms of support or resistance. 11 and 89 must watch out for those. So natural to have a bit of support there as we pushing down. If we can just break below that, we can definitely see this 127 target, and then even further below that, this 161. That is our ultimate target on our daily high-low strategy breakdown through the 0. That's actually where we're aiming for. A little bit of a retracement at the moment, but bouncing back up. We can see in our stochastic how we have broken above our signal line, and we are getting ready for a trigger long break of 61.8, while our signal line is still below this 50 level. So if we do get that trigger long, it is possible to go more than halfway, find very strong support, especially on a higher time frame, and then start turning around. So what I am looking at on the possibility that we do start turning around on this trade over here, we can look at a possible trigger long above that 0 level, and above that 0 level, we can actually start taking it along up to that 38.2, with our first target here being the 23.6. We are also sort of at that 50 moving average now. I want to see us close above it and then break that other red candle. That is our resistance to the top side. I want to see a break at that high and close above the 50 moving average before we get to this 0 level to confirm that the trend is starting to change. The 8, it has crossed above the 21. However, price is still struggling with this 50 moving average. So it does look like trend is definitely on its way busy turning, but I do want to get a little bit more time just for confirmation. Just a little bit of patience.
Yeah, keep an eye on the stochastic. Signal line below 50, break of 50. If we start doing that follow through there to 61.8, we'll get above the 50 moving average and we'll watch the zones. Okay, opening range we're going to get to in a sec. And 5 minute grid for me is just going to move. We saw on the previous chart that the moving averages are busy crossing over. There's the zones. If we get above the, we chase the red, we chase the black. That's a little bit tight at the moment. But let's keep an eye on this 11, traditionally very strong. Above 11 with moving averages crossover, I start chasing the 23. I start chasing the 38. Level to level, about 100 points. Very nice ranges still. But it has to move. Let's see. Pull this all the way down into a tight range. That's the 5-minute grid. Level to level there. 25 points. That's still okay. That's still okay for the Dow to chase those when we're trading 1 minute. Okay, just going to set up my charts here quickly. Let's kill these. Let's do 1 Dow. Okay, this is going to move to the left, so we can start looking at 1 minute. And this is going to be extension fib. Okay. Doesn't qualify yet. That's why I'm putting it for now to start the measuring. 1 minute grid is going to move. Just remember that green line that has become so important to us. That's the open price level of the day. And so often we go back and respect off a little double bottom on 1 minute. Does it move in the high? No, I don't think so. I think I still got that like that's all good. So just for those of you who want to replicate this, that's the high this morning of the FTSE opening. So that candle on platform time is 8:30 to swing low, double bottom. Level for level should be pretty good. I'm assuming about the same as, no, better than the 5 minute, 43 points level to level at this point. I think we have got moving average crossover there on the 1 minute. We're waiting for the Dow to follow through. That trend is still down on 5. Just get our starting line in. Extension for there. Yeah, the double top there, we'll watch that. Signal right now, signal line's in the wrong place.
Just to confirm, Patrick, this is your 1 minute grid on the NASDAQ, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Fantastic.
Okay, that's going to move. 1 minute grid is going to move. And we're going to trail. Got crossover, significant high there, a little bit of divergence coming off there. Here's the low. Level for level in US tech, about 12 points. Not fantastic, but we're about to open. Sam is going to be projecting. I'm going to be supporting and trading. Kind of like going to help each other out here, because so often these things trigger at the same time. Look, I was pushing again. We've broken that 77. We've hit the 127 daily high low target. Where are we on the 9 hour?
Halfway to second target.
Halfway to second target. I'm not going to be surprised at all if we don't hit second target. We'll wait for open, see what's going to happen. Preference definitely on Dow is to be short. US tech, the trend on 5 minutes can't really be defined. The 80 is on top of the 21. Very close to that 11 with a weekly high low, but didn't quite hit. So that's still outstanding. 1 minute grid is going to trail. I'm going to give it a minute or two to slow down. Now, if you want to trade quickly on open, next trigger is stochastic up through 50. Sammy, I'm going to let you project.
Okay, fantastic. Let me start sharing. I'll just make me host, please.
Yes.
All right.
So we've just opened.
Just going to delete my extension fibs for now. Or let this slip while the market is opening.
Okay, no triggers on US tech on the stochastic system yet. Dow wants to trigger long. If you want to take that quickly, I'm going to give it a few minutes to settle, but I'll call it for you.
Yeah, I'm mostly going to just stay out of this one for now. Especially that first 1 minute candle on the opening, that can be quite violent.
Yeah. Now, last 2 days I've been caught in it, Sam, where I take it and then it goes against me quite a bit. And then I have to go to church and pray and stuff, and then eventually I buy it.
Yeah, that's why I say every trader should donate a percentage of their monthly profits to the church for all the help.
Okay. A, B, 61% interest and possibly C up on US tech. Waiting for a stochastic trigger still. Okay, so
Nasdaq are getting ready to break the highs of our 1 minute grid, getting ready to trail that.
yeah, I like that.
There we are. Breaking up to 38.2 of the 5 minute grid. Next target will be here at the 50. Now, a little bit of consolidation at the moment. Nice range in the last 4 candles. We've had a 68-point range, so very nice range on the Dow. I just don't want to take a trade just yet because being in this beautiful range, 64 points, and if we'd taken a long up there, it would have been 64 points against us. So I'm just going to hold back a little bit here on the Dow while it opens. Nasdaq seems to be taking a bit of nice direction there, pushing up. That is only the first couple candles of opening. Let's just give it a moment as well.
Tian, how many points to second target on 9 hour?
Just check.
Yeah.
About 20 points from the low of that candle.
Okay. So, US tech is fine.
Continuing
Watch
to
this
trail
space.
this.
Yeah. But watch this space. I've got an opening line level from this morning, 15,844. We'll hit it at some point. Does every night. Okay, we can look at stochastic, NASDAQ stochastic for a short. The signal line is not brilliant. It's very close to the 50. This range. 5 minute trend can't be defined. Resistance on NASDAQ, interesting, perfect. Zero on the monthly, zero on the daily high low. Was the resistance, that's what it chased. So it has hit that support. Now, what I do sometimes like, if you look at the third chart, is, can you see the 11 and 33 are together? They're not separated. The green's behind the blue. That moves down through the 50 at the same time. It looks quite strong.
The Dow we're pushing down quite nicely. Waiting for a retracement to the top side before I can put an extension fib in over here on the Dow. And for the NASDAQ, we have started pulling back to the downside, but we need at least 8 candles before we can put that extension fib in. So nothing, I'm not going to put anything in here just yet. Just going to keep trailing my 1 minute and 5 minute grid on the down to the downside.
1 hour is its second target.
Fantastic. That hits target, you know, almost perfectly every single time. Once we get that trigger.
That's fucking hard. Okay, so that is hit target. I just want to check weekly high low. That's still got a way to go to the 61.8. That number is 35474. That's a 61.8 to the weekly high low. And I want to check ABCs. ABCs just hit that target that I posted.
NASDAQ, a little bit of double bottom here on the 1 minute. Very strong level of support. We can see here that we've been struggling with for most of the day. Well, maybe not most of the day, but the last hour or so. We are busy breaking that.
Next target on the down 5 minutes is the 161.8 of the daily high low. It's not far off. Sure. 25 points plus minus. Watching the 1 minute grid on US tech. That's at an 89% retracement now. Let's see if it's going to hold. Any trades long on Dow against the 5 minute trend. The US tech, I can't see that trend. So,
Break at this level here, we can start extending our 1 minute and 5 minute grid to the downside.
sure. We got so close to that 161.8 target on the daily high low. I'm talking 6 points.
I'm just going to start getting my fibs. We haven't broken quite yet. Very close to a bit of the double bottom here on the NASDAQ. That double bottom holds, we can expect a 50% retracement back up to this level here. And from where we are, that's a good 50, 60 point run in the NASDAQ.
The NASDAQ is very, very close to the 11 target of the weekly high low.
Yeah, starting to turn around there. Signal line has broken down through the 50 here on our stochastic. So 33 up through 50 is a valid trigger.
There's Rashid. Thank you, Rashid. S&P is down 130 points in 2 days.
Yeah.
We're going to start adding those charts this weekend. I'll do all the setups. Where are we going to fit them? Yeah, I have no idea.
I want to put these flips in just yet. I think the Dow could push down a little bit more before we finish this run. And back there, the NASDAQ getting close to that trigger long.
Yeah, I'm watching that. Just for 5 points.
Yeah.
50% retracement of the 1 minute grid. So the triggers, I wanted to break the 50, and 50 just chasing the 61 on the 1 minute grid is 16 points. We should be able to get the 5 out of that.
Continuing to trail my 1 minute and 5 minute grid.
Okay, on the Dow, we've broken the 161 target of the daily high low. We're on the 61.8, the high of the consolidation area of the weekly high low. We've broken the 50 of the monthly high low.
Yeah, as we were talking in setups, you know, break at that 38.2, good, sorry, that 61.8, good chance we're going to see that 38.2. Having just broken that 50 now, it's still well possible to see that 38.2 before the end of the day, if we can hold on to this momentum.
Right. But at some point we will find the low and the support of the opening range.
There we are, we've broken down to the zero of our 1 minute grid. Start trading that to the downside here on the NASDAQ.
What's happened to the Christmas rally, Sam, that everybody talks about?
What?
The last number of years, every Christmas it goes up.
Oh, the Christmas rally.
Yes.
Rabbi.
Yeah,
I was a bit confused there. Yeah, the Santa rally. Yeah, I don't know. Hey, it's the 17th of December and this market is just falling. Still waiting for this trigger long here on the NASDAQ. That's the next trigger we'll get on the NASDAQ and the Dow. No setup for an extension fib at the moment, so we can't use that. And on the Dow, we can look at a 61.8 stochastic break at that level, trigger long. Signal line is in the right place here below 50. On the NASDAQ, I'd like to first see the signal line break down through the 38.2 before taking that trigger long. Right now, it is technically valid, being below the 50. But it's just not far extended enough from that 50 level for me to want to take it up. Otherwise, no more setups for shorts on the Dow and the NASDAQ.
NASDAQ, I still see this as double. Console 45 is double bottom levels on the 1 minute.
Yeah, because if you look at our previous low here, we've only pushed 3.8 points away below that low, which is not that much.
Okay, level holding again on the US tech, not looking at double bottom there. Now I'm watching US tech for trigger long. Is against the 5-minute trend, but not hugely. Resistance 50, moving average in 5. My warning, really warning for US tech. It's at 50, moving average in 5 is just above it. Potentially be a little bit of an issue there.
So, also struggling with 50 moving average on 1 at the moment.
Yeah.
Watch this. Watch the little double top here on the nasdaq. Broken that, and I've taken that long. Just going to go for the 5 points.
Broken 50 moving average in 5. I'm watching stochastic for the follow through on US tech, the 50 stochastic up through the 50. We broke it. There
Right,
we go.
TP. You have to take that one, Pat.
I took that one, yes.
Nice, nice. Nice, nice to start the session with the profit.
It is nice.
Right, so now on the Nasdaq, now that we're pushing up so much, looking at break of 100, we're going to extend the 1 minute grid, 5 minute grid. We've got quite a while to go before we get to that 100, about another 120 points.
77% retracement in your 1 minute grid.
Almost the T there.
Okay, next resistance on US tech is 23 of the weekly high low, 0 of the monthly high low, then 0 of the daily high low. Are you getting opening ranges ready for us, Tim? Thank you. Get your 1 minute grid, break a 77, should see 89 on US tech. That is 13 points. Should get 5 out of that.
On the Dow, we are starting to find a little bit of support over here.
Yeah, it's
levels.
a bit of a base there.
Yeah. We have about 6 minutes to go until we get the end of our opening. So it is possible this could be the low, the 38.2 of our opening range.
Just above us on the Dow, we've got some huge resistance. Playing just below the 61.8 of the weekly high low, just above that, we've got the 50 of the monthly high low, and then just above that 161 of the daily high low, we must start adjusting our charts and send them out as T on the Dow, all along 161 to 127. Okay, you can see that US tech hit that 89 target on the 1 minute grid and it's broken highs.
Yeah, we've broken this highs. I'm trailing this 1 minute grid now.
And guess what? On US tech, so it traced to the opening price level of the day again. On US tech, you can see this last 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 minutes. I mean, it's a huge jump.
Massive jump. We ran almost 100. Yeah.
But Sammy, this for me is still the first leg up on 1 minute.
Yeah. No, I agree. And what's nice is, by trailing our 1 minute grid over here, we can actually, once we get that high, we can watch our retracement levels to confirm for a B down, for a C up.
Yeah.
All right, on the Dow, we're starting to push up a little bit more. I'm waiting to take a trigger long 33 stochastic up through this 50 level here. I've got it dotted in the red just for emphasis.
We are trading above the 11 of the 1 minute grid now. Dow resistance 161.8 minus 161.8 of the daily high low, as well as the 50 of the monthly high low. That's where we're sitting at 5 minutes right now. We are far away from the 50 moving average.
Yeah, very overextended there. Stochastic's completely oversold as well.
Next candle.
If it breaks previous candle high.
That last one, that must break this candle high.
Yeah, this candle.
Yeah. So US tech, they're setting up for a long on the daily high there as well. And the US tech has just reached the opening price level of the day. Again.
I'm going to get that opening price in on this chart so that the guys can see as well. So yeah, they're on the NASDAQ. See how we've just touched that line. Do the same here on the Dow. Very far from that opening price in the Dow. From where we are right now to that was about 400 points.
Watch separation for short on the Dow.
Right, so yeah, we're waiting for that one. And then I'll take it. It is in the direction of the 5 minute trend.
Putting the extension from low to swing high, just temporary now. If we do get that separation, I can measure the retracement.
That's actually a good idea.
Yeah.
NASDAQ don't really have any setups for an extension flip at the moment. I would put one from the high over here.
I'm trading it exactly where the 1 minute grid is. So you're gonna
Is it? Oh, okay.
But that could be setting up for a short, and I'm watching Dow and I'm short.
Taking that short as well.
We get some follow through there. We need to break the 61 that you got your 38 there, the lower consolidation area, to get to the 77.
There we go. Took my profit there. Yeah, me too.
I put my TP at the 77. So I got 14 points out of that one.
Oh, nice. I think, yeah, I just got 10 points out of that one.
Yeah, that's perfect.
Right, they were broken zero on our extension fib. I'm taking an additional short there on the Dow. TP over here, I'll put it just above that 127 just to account for spread. And TP once again, that was about 22 points over there. I can delete this extension now as we're waiting for a new setup. And I'm going to continue to trail my 1 minute and 5 minutes.
Okay, Dow opening ranges, that triggered 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yes, Dow opening range is triggered short. I've got something singing at me. Where's tech for a short?
33 down to 50.
Okay, just watch the 50 level of your 1 minute grid.
Yeah,
I want that 50 to break as well, so that at least we can chase the 61% retracement.
No setups at the moment on the Dow. We just continue to trail our 1 and 5 minute grids. On the NASDAQ, I'm still waiting for this trigger short 33 down through 50. Signal line is above 50, which means it's in a good place. In fact, it's above 61.8, which makes it even better. That's exactly what I'd like it to be. 33 and 11 stochastics are starting to separate a little bit there. So I'm not gonna take a trade just yet. I'm gonna wait a bit to hold back. 33, the 51, 24, and 533 stochastics. Those two are setting up for a separation for a trigger long. Just need to wait for the red stochastic to break up through the 50, and that will be our trigger. 11 stochastic failed to close below the 50, so no setup for a separation just yet.
Next support on the Dow, the bigger time frame is 50 of the weekly high there. Okay, that US tech is telling us we're going to play again. Again, I'm waiting for a break for myself, a break of the 50 of the grid. Support there at the same level is the 50 level of the opening range as well.
On the Dow, as we're starting to push up, could be setting up for 33 stochastic up through 50 for a trigger long, as well as 51.24 stochastic up through 61.8 for a trigger long.
Was it a possible separation on US tech for a long?
Yeah. I was actually, as I was mentioning earlier, how the 11 stochastic failed to close below the 50. Now we've actually been able to get a close below 38.2, which is beautiful. So if that stochastic can break up through the 50, that would be a nice trigger long. As 33 pushes down to this 50, I won't take that trigger short until we break support over here.
It's warning us about a US tech short again. Again, I'm waiting for a break of that 50.
Put an extension fib in here. Haven't quite had a 50% retracement.
It doesn't quite qualify, but at least you can see that double bottom level.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I want. Getting ready to take that short. Looking at this 50 moving average as a target to the downside as well at the moment. Really struggling with this double bottom level here. If this double bottom holds, we can expect to reach this 50% retracement up there.
Let's watch the Dow for the low of the consolidation area as resistance of the opening range. That tradition can be strong. It's another US tech warning.
We'll take a look here. Trend on the 5 minutes right now. 8 is above 21. Price is trading above that 50. So looking at possibly taking a trade back down to that 50. And that's where that negative 127 level on our fib is as well.
Sure. I'm waiting for a break of that double bottom at 50.
And I've taken it short.
50 moving average support on 1 minute. Aiming for the 38.2, the 1 minute grid, the other side of the consolidation area, which means for me it needs to break that 50 moving average.
That's just above our target of this 127.
Could quite easily come back to the 50 moving average on 5. Down.
Let's watch double bottom here on the down. No setups for any shorts at the moment though.
The US tech, that stochastic failed to follow through down through the 50. Stop loss for me.
We're taking the stop.
Yeah.
Stochastic
back up through the 61.8, and we broke the 61.8 level of the grid, so we should see the 77.
Yeah, this extension fib is now valid. Have more than 8 candles and a 50% retracement. Break over 0 or 100, I can take a long or a short. Right, assessing for an additional trigger short there. 30 stochastic broke 33. 33 stochastic, sorry, broke the 50. Watching this double bottom here.
Yeah, it looks like US tech's triggering short again.
So 11 here has given us very strong support as well. So
Yeah.
just watching it for that.
I will only take it a break of the zero there.
Yeah, me too. To me, that is a strategy dictates.
Yeah.
I'll just stick to strategy. On the Dow, a bit of a separation, getting ready to trigger short. I'm not going to take this one. I don't like the shallow retracements. I'd like this 11 stochastic to close above the 61 before taking that trade. Then NASDAQ triggering short again, 33 down to 50. Getting ready to take this short and taking it just as we broke that zero.
Moving average support again, US tech.
Yeah, that 50 moving average is strong. Close below that 50. Bouncing off that 89, I'd like to see it close below this 89 moving average. Bringing my TP up to this 155, that's my target right now.
On that percent close to TP.
You guys are taking a short cut. What are you aiming for?
53.6
on the 5 minutes or 1 minute?
on the, sorry, this is moved. Just get it. It's below the 38%, the 61% retracement.
Struggling here with the 50 moving average in like 1 minute. On the Dow, still nothing at the moment. We're in a bit of consolidation. Support and 50 moving average on the NASDAQ once again.
Looking at US Tech 5 minutes, it's a 50 moving average on 5, it's a 50 moving average on 1. So move your extension foot to the low on the US Tech. Now we watch that 11.
Terrible level there. Terrible, terrible, terrible. Watch Dow break this double bottom. You can extend our 1 minute and 5 minute grid once again.
Okay, so now definitely triggered short.
Yeah.
The next challenge on US tech, 89 simple moving average on 1 minute and double bottom.
If we can just break this double bottom of the NAS, then we can definitely hit this TP.
NASDAQ, the stochastics, trading at the 44, I don't like that.
Bit of a mess here on our 5124 and 533 stochastic as well.
Right.
It's indication of consolidation, lack of momentum in the market.
But it needs to shoot down through the 38.2 in the database.
That will be at the other, because that's a trigger short in itself. Here, 33 stochastic, pushing down through 38.2. Very close to TP now. Only 2 points away.
It took my TP, huh?
Is it?
Yeah.
Now we're struggling with this 38.2, the 1 minute grid. I'd like to see where this 1 minute candle closes. Right now I'm in the money. So if I close now, it's still a profit.
Well,
Just not my target, which is fine. You know, I'd rather just take a profit than.
what's your support on the 155 on the right hand side there?
Yeah. And TP.
Nice, well done.
On the Dow, we're continuing to trail our shorts, our fibs to the downside on our 1 minute and 5 minute grid.
Okay, Dow's hit 50 of the weekly high low. Next level of support is 38.2 of the monthly high low, the other side of the consolidation. That's going to first target opening range.
No doubt about it.
Well, I can't say it's going there, but statistically, it goes.
Right now, there's still good momentum in this market as well.
Spending some time getting the extended targets on the Dow. I'm pretty sure they've reached. It's good to have those levels reached now.
Yeah, I actually want to put in.
I'm just going to post that picture quickly.
So this red line is our 11 of our opening range. That is our final target. That is our first target. That is our 38.2. NASDAQ, I'm going to delete this extension fib. This is basically once the whole length of our 1 minute grid. We are so close to breaking those lows once again.
US tech and double bottom levels there. Yeah. US tech on double bottoms level there. It left quite a strong level of support there, but we're testing below the opening range.
Yeah. We should get those levels in on the NASDAQ as well. That is our 38.2. It's our 50.
It's triggers for both that I see are both the stochastics. Belongs against both 5-minute trends. The US tech is not a bad one if that double bottom level holds below the consolidation area of the opening range and double bottoms on 5, triple bottom on 5 actually.
Yeah, I'd feel a lot more comfortable taking that long on the NASDAQ than on the Dow, because at least we're bouncing off significant level of support here on the NASDAQ. Whereas on the Dow, we do still have this outstanding target to the downside.
Sure. That's really just the opening range that's an outstanding target. Daily high lows reached all its stories. 50 of the weekly high lows. So no, we can go to the other side of the consolidation area. The next one for me is 38.2, the monthly high. Shows what a candle we've had today, because when we started talking setups today, we said this possibility It's going to the other side in the day, and it
Yeah.
has.
On the Dow at the moment, we have massive 195 grids.
The separation and double doesn't really qualify.
Nasdaq watched at the bottom once again. On the Dow, I'm putting a bit of an extension to it in here. We don't have enough candles, but we have had a 50% retracement. So if we can get, I think we need another 3 or 4 candles before we break 100 or 0, then it will be valid. Otherwise, right now, just using it to measure this double bottom, break it at 0 is not a valid trigger short. Break of this 100 here on our Dow extension fib. I'm just going to keep trailing. As I said, we don't have enough candles, even though we have had that 50% retracement. So we cannot take this 100 as a valid trigger long. 11 stochastic pushing up quite nicely. If we can get a close above that 61 and then a push down, we could be setting up really nicely for a separation short. NASDAQ, we have to extend our 1 minute and 5 minute grid.
We start watching the Dow for separation, but we're starting to go into the time where traditionally this time of the day, every day, it starts just quieting down a little bit.
You know, after we've had that our opening, and now all the trades have sort of been put in. Right, so this candle here is our 8th candle. We haven't had a 50% retracement from this high yet, so this is still not a valid extension for just yet. NASDAQ is set up nicely for a trigger long, 33 stochastic up through 50, same as the Dow. A little bit of double top here on the Dow.
I'm watching the NASDAQ there.
Yeah, getting ready to take that long. Just watching this 50 moving average. If we can break this 50 moving average, not quite setting up for a 50 through 50. Our 50 stochastic's not quite there yet. There we are at that 50. Watch for a break. Getting ready to take that long. And extend this extension hook here. Massive 1 minute candle down the NASDAQ, 44 points in a single candle. Right, Dow, there. I'm going to take one long on the Dow.
On the 11 of the 1 minute grid, let's check.
Just going to go for 5 points on the NASDAQ. We are trading against the 5 minute trend. Down and NASDAQ pushing for it again. Dow 33 is broken up through the 50. Trigger long, additional trigger long. I'm already in a trade, so I'm not going to take a second one. NASDAQ struggling there a little bit with this 44. Watch this 89, struggling with this level a little bit now on the Dow. Then NASDAQ's taking profit. Dow, we're in the money. Out a little bit, and TP.
I got that one as well.
Fantastic.
I missed the US tech one, but that's fine.
Yeah, that's okay. I only got 5 points out of it. I wasn't about to start extending TPs against the 5 minute trend. Yeah, on the Dow, I did extend to 10 points. You know, but I'm keeping in mind that this 50 moving average here on the 1 minute is sort of the target that we're aiming for. So I figured, you know, 10 points is still below that 50 moving average. So I just took for the went for the 10. On the Dow, we're struggling with this 11 of our 5-minute grid. So it's the 50 moving average. Still extending my extension fib here. Haven't had a 50% retracement here, so we just have to keep filling that up. NASDAQ, we can also put an extension fib in from this high to the swing low. Again, also no setup yet properly, as we haven't had that 50% retracement.
It's just moving. There's resistance below the opening range on the Dow. Now remember, candle close inside the opening range for a previous candle high. So often we go to the other side, right to the top of the
100%.